The Champions League is back, some new faces, some old, some very old. This is my Champions League group stage predictions for the very last time as the new format kicks in next year. If you want a video of me explaining the new Champions League format, let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you are new and leave a like on the video. Group A and 4th Copenhagen. I think this is fairly straightforward. They have a few decent players. Former Southampton player Elyounoussi, he might cause a bit of problems, but to be honest, I'll be surprised if they win a single game. They're not going to do anything and they're going to finish rock bottom. 3rd, and it's the last ever Champions League group stage. We need a bit of drama, we need a bit of upset, so I'm going to say Man United will be heading to the Europa League instead of the knockout stages. They've lost 3 of their opening 5 Premier League games. Their midfield has been an absolute shambles, and I think this is going to be an Erik ten Hag disaster class. They're not going to score enough goals, they're going to lose to Galatasaray away, and they might even have a shock draw with Copenhagen. And that means 2nd, I'm going with Galatasaray. Their team looks really good, filled with a lot of experienced players. Maro Icardi, Wilfried Zaha, Hakim Ziyech, midfielders like Demirbay, Dries Mertens, Davinson Sanchez, Angelino, Lucas Torreira, Ndombele. They actually have a very good team, and I do expect them to cause an upset, beat Man United in the home leg, and just about narrow their way through to the knockout stages. And first, obviously, Bayern Munich. They're going to win every single game. I'm convinced of it. They're an unbelievable team. Adding Harry Kane to that, they are going to do absolutely brilliant. They've won every game bar one so far this season, and that was a draw to a very informed Bayer Leverkusen team. There's a good chance they win every single game, and they will easily top this group. Group B and 4th, I'm going Lens. You do have to feel sorry for them. Of course, the fans are going to be delighted that they're competing in the Champions League, but they don't stand much of a chance because in the summer they lost their 2 best players, Openda and Fofana. They don't stand a chance. I don't see them winning more than 2 games, and they're finishing bottom of the group. 3rd, I'm going to go with Sevilla, the Europa League merchants themselves. They've lost their goalkeeper Bono. Yes, they've brought in players like Sergio Ramos, but it's not like a Sergio Ramos from 5-6 years ago. He's past his best. He'll offer experience, but he's not going to carry them into the knockout stages, and the Europa League merchants will go marching back to the Europa League. 2nd, PSV, a good mix of youth and experience. Bakayoko is one of the most exciting wingers in Europe right now. They got Noah Lang in the summer, a really exciting Dutch player, and I think they will get to the knockout stages. And first, in their return to the Champions League, Arsenal will be topping their group. It's a fairly straightforward one for them. I would expect them to win the majority of their games. They'll be hoping they finish top of this group so they don't have to play Bayern Munich, and like the last time they were in the Champions League, lose 5-1. Group C and 4th, SC Braga. They've brought in a few experienced players, Jose Fonte, João Moutinho, but those players are past their best. Yes, they're experienced, but I don't think they're going to add that much when they're up against the quality in this group. 3rd, Union Berlin. I really like the Union Berlin story, but I don't think it's going to get them far enough to get into the knockout stages. Just the Europa League. Bringing in players like Gosens and Bonucci, very good signings. Kevin Volland as well. There could be an upset on the cards, but I don't believe it will happen. But I can see them picking up a win versus Real Madrid at home. 2nd, Napoli. I'm surprised they haven't lost more players. Typically, that's what happens when a team has one good year. They're completely robbed of all their best players. They lost Kim Min-jae, but they still have Osimhen. They still have Kvaratskhelia, and I think they will get into the knockout stages. And Real Madrid top in the group, no doubt about it. They're the kings of Europe. You expect them to win the Champions League every single year. Yes, they don't have a striker, but who needs one when you have Jude Bellingham? Group D and 4th, RB Salzburg. At the time of recording, I am unaware of any wonder kids this club has produced. There's no the next Erling Haaland just yet. So as it stands, I think it's going to be a poor Champions League campaign, and they're going to finish rock bottom, with 3rd being Real Sociedad. Unbeaten so far in the Liga. They've had a few decent results. I look at the quality of the other 2 teams. I don't think Sociedad will be able to match it. 2nd, Inter Milan. I bet they were loving it yesterday after they beat their dreaded rivals AC Milan 5-1. That is a result that will go down in history for a very long time. They've played them 4 times this year and they've won every single time. Sadly, the Champions League finalists will not be winning every single game in this group, as I believe Benfica will top the lot. They've made a lot of very good signings, and especially Angel Di Maria. I think he is going to star in this group. You also look at players like Kokshu, Rafa Silva, David Neres, Nicolas Otamendi, Antonio Silva, a very exciting young centre-back. I think this is going to be a very good campaign for Benfica. Group E and 4th, Celtic. They just have not looked impressive under Brendan Rodgers so far this season. Joe Hart is clearly past his best. I just don't think he's good enough. He should not be competing in the Champions League anyway. I think home games, Celtic can definitely pull off wins. They can get results, and if they're going to get out of this group or even qualify for the Europa League, that's the only way they're going to do it. 3rd, I'm going to go with Feyenoord. I think it is going to be close between them and Lazio, but I've just about edged Lazio. Feyenoord are a very good team. Watch out for Santiago Jimenez. I think he's going to explode in this Champions League campaign. 2nd, I've already said it, but Lazio, good team. They've made some very good signings. Kamada and Immobile is always guaranteed goals. They have a good side, very well balanced, and I think they are going to finish 2nd. And 1st, it's going to be Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid. They got absolutely battered by Valencia at the weekend, but I think they will bounce back. Their squad's not as good as it was a couple of years ago, but I just think the likes of Griezmann will absolutely carry them. They'll get the results, and they'll be going through to the knockout stages. Group F, and it's the Champions League group of death, the most difficult one to predict. And 4th, I'm going with Newcastle. They've already lost 3 games this season. Yes, they were against difficult difficult teams, but this is a Champions League group with difficult teams in it. The game against Liverpool in particular showed real lack of experience, lack of ability to finish off a game. Champions League, you're going to be punished by that. Yes, it is a good Newcastle team, but I think they're still trying to figure out how that midfield is going to work with the addition of Tonali, and I just think their first Champions League campaign in 2 decades is going to go badly. Third, another upset, I'm going to go with PSG. They have not looked good so far this season in Ligue 1. Their worst start to a Ligue 1 season since 2010-2011. Ousmane Dembele hasn't been impressive at all, and as always, Mbappe is carrying PSG. I just don't think he's going to be able to get them out of this group. Second, I'm going with AC Milan. Yes, they did get battered by Inter Milan at the weekend, but before the international break, they were looking really well. Giroud was scoring goals. Mainan is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. The likes of Pulisic, who was brought in, he looked really well. AC Milan are looking like a solid team. And first, I'm going with Dortmund. The mix of youth and experience, it's worked so well in the past. I think they're going to win every single one of their home games at the Signal Iduna Park, and that is going to bring them to first place in this group. Group G, fourth, Kvaratskhelia. I definitely butchered that pronunciation, but what is actually going to get butchered is this club when they play against Manchester City away. They're going to lose 7-0. Haaland's going to score 4 goals. It's going to be an absolute disaster class. These lot aren't going to win a single game, and it's just going to be a very bad Champions League campaign. Third, I'm going Young Boys. Again, this group is just too easy to predict. Young Boys always have a decent team. They'll beat Kvaratskhelia home and away. They're not going to get anything off Leipzig or Man City. It's fairly self-explanatory. They'll be going to the Europa League. Another easy prediction, second RB Leipzig. They've made some good signings. Xavi Simons, Openda, Fabio Carvalho, but I just don't see them beating Man City at all, because Man City are finishing first, the current champions of Europe. They're probably going to go back to back. They're going to win every single game in this group, and they're probably going to win every single game quite easily. They're an unbelievable side and the favourites for the Champions League this year. Group H, Shakhtar Donetsk. They like their occasional win over Real Madrid, but that's essentially all they do in the Champions League. They never really add much to it, and they're going to finish bottom of this group. Third, I'm going to go with Royal Antwerp. A fairy tale way to win the Belgian league. However, the fairy tale ends here, as they won't be going to the knockout stages of the Champions League, but the Europa League will be good enough for them. Second, Porto. Porto always have some decent players. They're always a decent side. It's a fairly straightforward group for them. I don't think they'll struggle. I think they will comfortably qualify. And first, for the first time in so long, Barcelona will be getting out of the group, and they should realistically win every single game. I honestly do believe Barcelona are within a shout to win the Champions League. I think they make it to the semi-finals at least. And you know what? We're going to end this video on a bang. I'm going to predict Barcelona to win the 23-24 Champions League, as long as everyone stays fit. People like Pedri, that midfield is unbelievable. Gundogan, Pedri, De Jong, Gavi. You got players like Joao Felix, Robert Lewandowski up front. The defence is also unbelievable. You got Ter Stegen in goals, Koundé, Arujo, Cancelo, Balde, Christensen, so many fantastic players, and I think Barcelona will win the Champions League this year. But let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of my group stage predictions, and who do you think is going to win it? I think it's Barcelona's year. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to check out another video by me on your screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.